What is going on? Jordan, Mighty, MVP, MN, Sean, Lyle, L Money, Charlie, Gangrene, Sean again, William, Mark Davis, Wardo, Desmond. Appreciate everyone hanging out. My man Rio, what is going on with you? How's your Tuesday afternoon going?
Yeah, it's going good. Excited for MLB to be back in about a week and a half. So we should have some stuff going on there pretty soon. But yeah, pretty good week. I'm finally feeling closer to 100%. And we got the live final in a couple days. Got one more chance because Utica took down basically every tournament last night, maxed out his seats. So they posted two more seats tonight, two more tournaments. So I'll be either donating a bunch of money or hopefully winning at least one more seat and taking another buddy out to Arizona in a few days. But I'm excited. As I'm coming, you're leaving, so that kind of sucks. But I'll be leaving the snow for a little bit, getting into some nice hot Arizona weather, which I'm excited about. Get some golfing in on Saturday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Where are you guys golfing?
There's a resort course on the hotel. So that's
Nice.
like the excursion. Had to twist Tambo's arm to get out there with me because I know he's not a big golfer. But last year I was with my girlfriend, obviously. So I was she didn't want to go golfing for 4 hours, 5 hours. So we did the massage. And that was nice, but I think golfing is definitely more my speed.
For sure. You love golfing too. Yeah, that'd be nice. What is it the same hotel as last year?
No, it's at the I keep messing up the Biltmore, I think.
Biltmore. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wish I was here. I was very sad when I hit Rio up. He got his ticket. I knew it was in Arizona. Like back-to-back years, I get to head over for free. Shout out to my man Dan. Got a wedding this week, so I will be leaving when Rio's joining. But hey, weather's looking nice. I'll give you that. It was cloudy, dreary past couple of days. Sunny. Temperatures are starting to go up. So hey, none of that matters though. All that matters: take first, take second, take third. 6 figures. That's what we talked about, Rio. 6 figures. You would absolutely be happy. You've had a lot of good showings the past couple of years. So good luck to you in that for sure. We got tomorrow you and I are on, and then Thursday you'll be flying, so you won't be on there. But today and tomorrow, only 4 games on tap today, as you can see. Of course, we are screen sharing SaberSim. Going to take the average projections from both SaberSim and SHIPIT Nation. Let's start right away just on these injuries. Again, 4 games, but the Q-tags are important on this slate. Actually, I should start here like I always do. 7 Eastern start time, then 7:30, 2.5-hour window, 10 p.m., 10:30. So all 4 start times are different, but it's pretty much 2, big break, 2 is how I'm looking at it. The big Q-tags on this slate, and they're not many, but there's not many Q-tags. The ones that there are huge names. Tatum, Mobley, Steph, LaMelo, Pods. Pods has been missing recently. LaMelo was a midday downgrade. And did Kerr mention something about Steph yesterday? Touch on just broad slate, just quick with those injury news. And then what does that do for you just with these different start times? Are you thinking on a smaller slate, are you going out of your way to do anything different?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, those are all big names. I guess I'll start with the Steph because I don't know if that's the biggest. I think the LaMelo one is probably the biggest. But yeah, the wording from Kerr yesterday, I didn't watch the post-game press conference. It was basically along the lines of like he's tired. He's kind of carrying the team right now. And there was a good chance that he would have sat last night. I don't really know. Like I thought that with like Jokic and Jamal getting ruled out that he was going to get ruled out. But I feel like there was a situation like this recently where there was a big name player was questionable going in. They played and then they were expected to win, but then they lost. So then they didn't get that night off the next day. I could see something like that, but the spread would kind of indicate, home game for Golden State. They're underdogs. I think Steph is probably sitting. Also haven't got word on Kuminga yet, but it sounds like he's going to get the night off with I think it's the first back-to-back since he's returned. And then this was the return date for Pod, so he should be back. So that's kind of what I'm expecting there. The Mobley stuff, I don't really know. They're road favorites against the Clippers. So I think that he's probably back. But the LaMelo is the biggest one. Luckily, that's the first game of the slate. I'm expecting him to miss because they did call up Damian Baugh, who I've been beating the drum on him for past couple weeks. But it's kind of lining up for LaMelo to miss. Got the midday downgrade. Damian Baugh gets upgraded, so they're probably going to be putting Baugh into starting lineup. They didn't call up KJ Simpson or Salon either, so they're going to be rolling with what they have tonight, which should be about 10 guys is what they have.
Nice. Yeah, you were stroking Damian Baugh for sure in the Discord a little bit. And shout out the Discord. So many of these Gang Greens of the world, Pair Buys, the Wardos, so many in the Discord, best community by far out there. I think this price alone, I think is just worth for the Discord. Of course, you do get all the content. Even though it's not NFL season, doesn't mean there's not a lack of DFS sports. PGA, NBA, MLB in a week and 2 days. We just had our MLB meeting too. Very excited for the MLB season. Again, the new addition to SaberSim, this stack exposure right here that has never clicked during NBA shows will definitely be clicked during MLB. So very excited for that correlation sport. Another correlation sport still going on, NHL. Again, playoffs coming up for NBA too. MMA still going on, of course, like it always is. NASCAR in full force. PGA, best team in the business. Huge prizes. So no better time to get over. Again, no NFL, still tons of money to be paid. See right here. You just want content, $79, only $20 more. Get you SaberSim, allows you to build 150 teams for $30 more than that. The best value, you get 350 additional teams and ownership and projections for SaberSim for the sports we offer. So again, like you saw me take the average for projections ownership from SHIPIT Nation and SaberSim, you do get that ability with the starter and ultimate package. You do not get that with the core since you don't have SaberSim's projections. You also do get contest flashback in the starter pack as well. Get to check out all the sports, the contests that ran the night before, that ran a month ago. They have a huge database on that. You can check out certain individual contests, see how your own lineup sim, positive ROI, negative, what other players did, etc. Very good to look at that and build your process. And if you are playing a couple $100 a week, you want to try out the contest sims, ultimate package, $297 for the first 30 days, then goes up to $321, allows you to build 5,000 lineups. And you can see all the contest sims that you do get, best in the business by far. Head over to ShipItNation.com if you want to give us a try. Again, definitely do recommend if you sign up, get in the Discord. By far the best community, huge piece of our product. And NBA, never-ending news is never ending. Yesterday with the Denver stuff and all that, Rio was in the Discord. He tagged the chat on his thoughts with the Denver situation. Westbrook by far his favorite. And shout out Westbrook, man. No one competes as hard as that man. Always fun to watch. The Gordons, the MPJs. A lot of stuff changes in NBA. No one better in the business than Rio. Tagging the chat, letting people know his thoughts with all the changes and the constant moving pieces. Any broad slate you want to say on this? I think you kind of covered it with the injuries, but again, only 4 games. Do you want to go right into it with the first game of the night?
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it. First game of the night. 8-point favorites are the Atlanta Hawks over the Charlotte Hornets. 232.5 total. Injuries on the Atlanta side. No Karis LeVert, no Clint Capella. Injuries on the Charlotte side. Again, LaMelo midday downgrade. We will get that news before lock. No Miles Bridges too. So very important injury news there. Throw it right to you. Assuming LaMelo misses, what does that do? You already talked about your boy. If he's in, do you have interest on this Charlotte Hornets team?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 8-point spread, I would kind of think that it'd be a little bit wider if LaMelo were to miss. I mean, Atlanta hasn't really been playing great, but I mean, neither of these teams are playing very good defensively. Charlotte, I believe, is bottom 6, or Atlanta's bottom 6. Charlotte's bottom 5 defensive rating since the All-Star break. Atlanta's playing very fast, so it's a really good game total. I think it's the highest on the slate. So there should be a lot of points scored here in terms of how these teams are giving it up. Charlotte is dead last in 3-point defense, while Atlanta has been given a little bit more at the rim. Kind of all year long, they've been in like the bottom 10 or so in rim defense. We talk about the pick and roll defense a lot for Atlanta, but they've been improving actually. I think they're like top or bottom 8 now, where they were like in the bottom 3 pretty much all season long. So they've been playing a lot better there. Yeah, I think so. The LaMelo stuff kind of already touched on. I think Damian Baugh is going to get the start. I think he'll for sure play a ton if LaMelo gets ruled out. And if LaMelo does get ruled out and we get a situation where Baugh is starting, I mean, how do you not lock him? He's 3K and point guard and shooting guard eligible. I mean, he's actually shown a decent amount of talent as well when he was in the league. Not the greatest shooter, but I mean, he's going to put up shots when he's playing. Last time he played was against Brooklyn. Was it 10 days ago? Put up 16 shots in 29 minutes. But he could do a little bit of everything. So yeah, I'd be near locking Damian Baugh if I do get news that LaMelo Ball were to be out. If LaMelo is somehow ruled in, I think he's a really good option as well. I'll say it though, like I've said it pretty much every time we've talked about Charlotte Hornets slates. Like you got to proceed with a little bit of caution. A few reasons why. I mean, he had a huge game against San Antonio. San Antonio's been trending very far down defensively. Put a 58 in that game in 29 minutes. Next game followed it up against a tougher defense. The Clippers only put up 25 fantasy points. The 58 DraftKings points was the most he's scored since like early January. And you're still paying 9.5K for him. Just I think it's mostly like name value. This wouldn't like I've been talking about attacking Dyson Daniels all season long with pick and roll heavy guards, which LaMelo is. But I mean they are playing a lot better against guards like LaMelo. So I'd probably proceed a little bit cautiously if LaMelo does get ruled in. There's also the blowout factor. They will cut down his minutes in a really big way if they are down by like 15, 20 with like 8 minutes to go. He's probably not coming back out. So yeah, I would just proceed with a little bit of caution there. Mark Williams looks like a decent option. You just need like a really efficient game from him on both ends of the court. If you do consider playing him, he's not cheap, 8.1K, but he's been really good in the sample without Miles Bridges this season, 1.4 fantasy points per minute. Does see increase in rebounding rate? Bridges have been doing a lot of everything, so there's a lot of usage and assists and rebounds to go around. So Williams should take some of that. He did have 7 assists last game, which was cool to see. They're running the offense a little bit more through him. It is a good matchup. Atlanta have been one of the worst rim defense in the league. Just the minutes aren't really there for him. There might be a little bit there might be a slight increase in minutes for him here, just if they, depending on what they do in the starting lineup. They have been trying out the Diabate Mark Williams front court a little bit, and Diabate is projected to start at power forward. If they do that, then there's probably maybe 4 to 5 more minutes to go around for Mark Williams if he's at like 25 versus 30. Like that's a really, really big difference there. So I'd have a little bit more interest if Diabate is starting alongside of him. Nick Smith Jr. should. I think he'll get the start. He's not projected to start, but I think he should get the start for maybe Miles Bridges. It's him or Diabate, but either way, Nick Smith going to have a ton of usage on his hands in the second unit. He's not a great permanent producer, so I don't know. I wouldn't be like taking a huge stand for him if he does get the start. But I'm seeing, what do we have him at? 20% ownership. I think that'll probably come up throughout the day. Probably closer to like 30 is where I would imagine it settles. I would be maybe slightly underweight there, but it is a small slate. So if he gets you 25, I think that might be good for him. And then the last guy I'll mention or I guess there's 2 guys. Daquan Jeffries, he's been starting and playing a ton of minutes lately. That's kind of all you can ask for, somebody at 4K. Not a great permanent guy, but he's played 32 or more minutes in each of the last 4 games that he started, which is really good for his price tag. And then Wendell Moore Jr. should take some of those minutes vacated by Miles Bridges tonight. He's 3.1K. I would still prefer Baugh, assuming that Baugh does get the start. Heading over to the Atlanta side, Trae Young, obviously you can play him. He's a fine spin-up option. I probably prefer Harden or maybe even some of the spend downs. Like Dame has a really good price tag tonight. But yeah, the Hornets have actually done a pretty good job of limiting pick and roll ball handlers. They're top half of the league in that category. But the area that does struggle against 3-point shooters, we know that Trae can put up a ton of volume there. He did put up 13 or 12 against Indy just 4 games ago. He does have double-doubles in 6 of his last 8 games, so it does raise the floor-ceiling combo for him a little bit. So yeah, I'm okay with Trae tonight. Small slate. It's he's a little bit less likely to hurt you when you're considering him on like a 10-game slate. You need a pure ceiling game from him tonight. Probably don't need like 70 from him. I think 55 is within the range of outcomes and would be a very useful fantasy score tonight. Kongwu going to continue to play a lot of minutes with no Capella out. 45 or more DK points in 4 of his last 6 games. And 2 of the games were in the low to mid 20s, which would hurt you at this price tag. But Hornets have been giving up a ton of fantasy points to opposing big men's over the last month or so. Bottom 4 in DVP versus centers over the last month. Bottom 3, they're allowing the 3rd most point per games, 3rd most rebounds to opposing centers over that span. So it's a really good spot for Okongwu. Probably one of the better center options on the slate tonight. And then Dyson Daniels, I do slightly prefer Dyson over Trae just because we're getting a near 3K price difference. But the thing I love to see in these types of matchup in particular, he kind of has a lot of things going right for him here. So the Hornets are allowing the 3rd most turnovers per game since the All-Star break. It probably is going to go up if you take away LaMelo. I mean, LaMelo is not the best at taking care of the ball, but they're going to be replacing him with a lot of lesser players. So he's going to have a ton of opportunities for one of those high steal games. I think he's like 1 or 2 steals away from surpassing the most steals ever in a season. So probably gets that tonight.
Isn't it 1? And I forgot who was ahead of him.
It was Ricky Rubio.
Ricky Rubio, yeah. Yep, Ricky Rubio.
Yeah,
Which, man, I didn't know Rubio was like that.
Dude,
I mean,
he
Daniel's
was.
stat line for steals is insane. Like,
Yeah,
I did not know Ricky Rubio was there.
he must have had some crazy games. Like I don't remember that. That was when he was with the Wolves too, so that was a
Okay.
while ago. So yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on there. That'll be really, really cool for him to do that tonight. But aside from that, the Hornets are so no Karis LeVert tonight should mean more minutes for Dyson Daniels. But Hornets are bottom 3 in DVP over the last month against shooting guards. He's getting a lot of ownership, but I still think that it's fine. Like there's a lot of things working in his favor tonight. I think 6.9K is a pretty good price tag for him. Zach Ricochet, I mean, man, he's an extremely frustrating roster because he's losing minutes to Vit Krejci. I mean, when is the last time a number 1 overall pick has lost minutes to a guy like Vit Krejci? That's just crazy. Yeah, but I mean, he was just that was like one of the biggest busts ever. I'm not saying that Ricochet is like Bennett, but I mean, I don't know, man. The talent in last year's draft was kind of meh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's you got to keep an eye on that because he is losing minutes to Krejci. So I would max one of those two guys. I mean, I'm probably going to be on the underweight side of Ricochet if he's going to be 30+% owned. I'm seeing a couple different sources project him as like the highest owned player in the slate, which would be something I'd be kind of okay getting away from. It is a good matchup. Like I mentioned, 3-point shooters are killing the Hornets right now. He's been shooting the ball a lot better. But I mean, for whatever reason, just losing minutes to a guy like that is really stressful. George Niang, I do like tonight, 4.2K. Your boy,
Hooper.
Yep. But since he's been coming over from Cleveland, he's kind of him and Karis LeVert have taken over like that bench spark plug role, and no LeVert tonight, so there's gonna be a little bit more for him in the second unit. But he's averaging just around 7 threes per game with Atlanta, so this could be a spot where we see him put up like 10 and make 4 or 5 and really pay off his value in a pretty big way. They do like to close with him sometimes over Mo Gay, so I would probably be max one of those two guys. But I do like George Niang tonight. Then Terrence Mann, lastly, I think he'll fill in a lot of those LeVert minutes. His minutes have ranged from 21 to 33 over his last 4 games. Never a guy that's going to be breaking the slate. That one game that he did was when they had no Trae Young or LeVert, so it was easy for him to get there with a lot of usage flowing his way. I don't think that's going to really happen tonight, but he's still usable at 4K.
Two of my favorite low-key dudes, George Niang, Terrence Mann. I love it.
Remember when the Clippers didn't want to trade who was it? Was it Terrence Mann for Paul George?
I think Terrence Mann was untradeable or something.
Yeah, crazy.
Unfortunately, the problem is they're both going to get a good amount of ownership, and that's where I want to throw it to you in this one. This is by far the chalkiest game on the slate, and it locks right away. Like if you're just sorting by ownership on the Hawks side, insane. Go to the Hornets side, not as much, but still a lot of ownership. Things could change with LaMelo. You go to all these other games. Let's just click through them. Click in both teams, literally nothing. One guy above 20%, while like the whole game on Atlanta Charlotte was. 3 guys above 20%. Hardly anything relatively to that first game. And the last game, no ownership. So we did spend a lot of time on that one. But I guess this is kind of what I'm throwing to you. If you think Steph misses, or you do think Mobley plays, but are you manually bumping any of these Warriors guys or anything, assuming we don't have this news before this first game locks? Or are you just jamming it? Because I think I will be jamming it. I already think it's, even if Steph was out, these 4K guys are even, like they're just as strong, if not stronger, in my opinion, than the Warriors guys, even without Steph. Do you have a different opinion on that? And are you going to like set, I'm not going to play more than 4 Hawks. I'm not going to play more than 3 Hornets. Are you going to do any of that with your lineups?
Yeah, I think I'll definitely need to mess around with that a lot leading up to slate because I think it is probably it's a good slate to be backloading because you know that people are going to be overplaying guys in this game, and like I said, like there's some like these guys aren't great plays by any means. You compare them to a Golden State team with possibly without Steph or Kuminga, like Moody's going to look pretty good. Buddy Hield will look good. I think even Gary Payton, like I would prefer him over
you
those
like them?
Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay. That answers my question.
Yeah.
I like it. Obviously, there is risk to be said about that. If Steph was ruled in and you're passing up on those Hawks guys, maybe that's why if you play multiple teams, you build in sets. Again, if you do have the starter ultimate pack, you're able to do different builds right here. Maybe in this build, you're playing 30 teams tonight. 15 teams are going to be like, Steph's in, I'm rolling this game pretty heavy. The next build, you're you're manually going to bump guys like Moody, Buddy, Peyton, etc., and then maybe bump down the Hawks guys a little bit. So then you're forcing a lot more Warriors in your lineup. Tambo talks about that in different sports, building in sets. I don't think that's a bad way to approach the slate at all. If you have a really strong lean on Curry, you can go all in. If you get it wrong, though, like I'm all in, Steph's going to be out. I'm playing all the Buddy, Moody, Peytons. While Steph's in, you have 2 games to work with. You're not going to be feeling too great that way. So maybe
let me add to that really quickly. Just I've talked about this before, but if you are a guy that's using Saber Sim and the Sims in particular, if you bump up those Warriors guys a little, like too much, like if you're pretty aggressive with it and you're running the Sims, you're going to get a shit ton of them versus the Atlanta guys, just because it's calculating like your ROI and it's assuming that, Buddy, Moody, and Gary Payton are going to be unowned.
1%.
Yeah, so you're going to have, like, if they're projected within, like, 3 points of those Atlanta guys, you're getting, like, 60, 70% of them. So just be a little careful there, which I do think it's smart to build in sets. I know Tambo likes to do that a lot.
In that second build, wouldn't you want to just, like, zero out Steph? Like, assuming Steph is out. Oh, yeah, we have 41 with no projection here. But it, like, zero out, and then you do, like, if Moody...
He's already out.
There we go. Look at that.
Well, that goes
just
the
answers
edge.
all of our questions. All right. Well, let's. That game's still good. The ownership in that first game does go lower, but I'm glad we just got it right on the show. We'll touch on this Boston-Brooklyn game quick. Then we'll get to that Warriors-Milwaukee game. But yeah, it's like they were listening to us. All right. Too early, Gangrene says.
I agree, though. That was we literally just started talking about the edge.
Yeah.
And there it goes.
What are you going to do? All right. When they report it, DraftKings just pulled that line down real quick. They report it early when you don't want it. They report it late when you want it early. All right. Big favorites are the Boston Celtics. 14 points over the Brooklyn Nets. 212.5 total, as low as it gets. Injuries in this one. No Cam Thomas for the Nets. For Boston, no Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum is questionable. So, again, this game and then Clippers-Cleveland, not getting much ownership. Now the Golden State game gets more ownership. This first game most definitely does. No Jaylen Brown, though. Start with Boston. I mean, it's really tough for me to get to some of these Nets guys. I don't know if I clicked anyone, maybe D-Russ, because there's no Cam Thomas, so there's more shots. But I still don't know how much 5.9K D-Russ I have interest in when they're not even applied for 100 points. Boston side, though, without Jaylen Brown, I never clicked the Drew button, really, that ownership. No thanks. I definitely would come in underweight, but Horford always treats me well. Derek White's, Tatum's, if he does play. I have interest in some of those guys. What about you?
It's tough to get to anything in this game, I think, right now, if Tatum is in. I don't think Tatum's going to sit. He normally plays through all this stuff, but we're getting closer to playoffs, so they might want to give him a rest. I mean, they should be able to handle Brooklyn with how bad Brooklyn has been lately. So, I'm kind of off the Boston side. I think you could probably sprinkle in some Derek White. Like, Kristaps Porzingis returned from the illness. He was out for like 2 weeks and then played 32 minutes. So he was damn near full. I think he has a really good matchup. But he's almost 8K now, too. Like, that's expensive. And I think that those minutes would probably be on the lower side tonight, assuming that the game is out of hand pretty early on. But this could be a spot where I really see them deepen the rotation a lot. They called up all their G League guys like Baylor Shireman, Jared Walsh, Drew Peterson. All these guys are back with the team tonight, so they have like a fully healthy roster outside of having Jaylen Brown. The guy that I probably have the most interest in is probably Peyton Pritchard, just because it could be, like we talked about a lot of these times in those games where they should blow out. Like, they'll give him more run, try to sweeten up that 6 man of the year candidate. So that's probably it. Like, I'll just talk through who gets the biggest boost really quickly, just to kind of do my due diligence. But so obviously Tatum, 5% usage rate increase, 1.45 fantasy points per minute, almost 11K. That's a little bit too much for me personally. Derek White has a 6% usage rate, but only 1.07 fantasy points per minute, which is not great for his price tag. Pritchard is just a 1.4% usage rate increase, but he's right around 1 fantasy point per minute, which is much better for him if he's playing around 32 minutes tonight. And then obviously Porzingis, 1.11 fantasy points per minute, but he does have the shot blocking and then the DVP stuff with Brooklyn being bottom 3 over the last month. So he's got the best matchup of the bunch. So yeah, I'm okay getting away from this game and just hope that it blows out and hope that nobody puts up a huge fantasy score. Net side is like, I don't know. It's probably just Claxton, D'Lo, and Daron Sharp that are guys I'm keeping in my player pool just because they all can pay off their price tag from a point per dollar perspective. But like you said, like they're projected for under 100 points tonight or applied for under 100 points, so it's not great. But yeah, Daron Sharp, I mean, he's just a really good fantasy producer when he's on the court. Maybe the game gets out of hand and they give him a little bit more run in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is an awful game to target for sure, assuming Tatum plays. But I guess I just like Tatum will be very on a 4-game slate without Jaylen Brown, sub 20% Tatum. When I just look at it that way, like I'd be fine using him and chalk your pieces. All the Golden State value, all the Atlanta value, and you play Tatum as a piece to get different. Obviously, I like Giannis more in a vacuum. Ownership will follow that, though. The Derek Whites, the Horfords, I'd be fine with them. Pritchard, you always shout him on big spreads like this. He definitely has gotten there plenty of times in a big way. Good with him, too.
I'm going to have to pull up a clip from the very first show that me and BJ did because that was like one of the best just like blind dart throws ever. But I literally said Peyton Pritchard, dark horse, 6 man of the year. I think he's got it locked in.
What's his odds, you know?
I know that he was the favorite last time I checked, but I mean, who's even close to him?
I don't know.
Maybe Ty Jerome, but I feel like Pritchard's been doing so much better.
Ty Jerome just did it late.
He's minus. Well, I don't know how updated this is, but I see minus 175 for Pritchard.
Well, that's by no means locked, but
I mean, it's pretty good when you talk about like season long awards. It's pretty damn good. He's minus 278. I'm looking at like.
Minus 300. He's minus 300. Your boy Malik Beasley's number 2. Minus 300 on DK for Pritchard, plus 320 for Malik Beasley. Man,
don't let Sean hear us talking about Malik Beasley.
Minus 700 for SGA. Most improved Cade. Like Cade's always been a beast. I mean, I get it, but
Christian Braun should have that in my opinion. He's been hooping this year. He has like the biggest like point per game increase in the league.
Huh. Dyson Daniels is 2. I really like that shout.
Yeah.
At plus 200. Interesting. All right. Yeah, that game by no means a very good one to target, but we do have this updated lines for the Bucks game. What was it? It
was 3.
All right, it's 3.5 for the Bucks now. So hard to move then.
Yeah, I think they were lining it as if he was out.
Yep. All right. 3.5 point favorites are the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Golden State Warriors. 226.5 total in this one. Injuries for the Bucks side. No Bobby still suspended. No Jericho Sims. On the Golden State side, Pods is questionable. And you said this was his day that he was supposed to return, and they didn't rule him out. So if I had to look at it like that, Pods in. Steph, we just got news, is out. Obviously, we just got this news 8 minutes ago, so I'm not sure how much you've been able to do, but you did hint at it earlier. Moody, Gary Payton, Buddy Hield. I don't know about this guy, Santos guy. Give me Pat Spencer for 30 minutes. I would love to play Pat Spencer. Little boy can shoot the ball a little bit, but yeah, I don't think, unless you tell me different, I'm not sure Pat Spencer's in play today. But what? I guess like the Jimmy, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, Gary Payton, are those the 3 biggest beneficiaries? Yeah, Pods, I guess. I mean, if Pods plays, I feel like that's got to be some.
Pods for sure. Like I think Pods is starting tonight if he does get ruled in. Also, this is like kind of, it shows you how little I pay attention to college basketball, but I had no idea that Pat Spencer and Cam Spencer were brothers, and I also thought that they were the same player because they look the same. I thought that Memphis, like it was, some guys bounce around in the G League. I thought that he got called up from like the Grizzlies G League team, and that he was playing with the Golden State now. And I was looking at the numbers. I'm like, damn, these guys are like, this guy, like whoever I was looking at was crushing it in the G League. I had no idea. Yeah, so don't. Hopefully, I don't get flamed for that. But I don't pay much attention to college basketball.
I mean, and those guys are irrelevant. Like we're not playing him today. Yeah, we're not playing him.
Yeah. So yeah, I was I wrote up my notes for this game as if Steph was going to miss, but also as if Kuminga was going to miss because this is a back-to-back. Obviously, he was out for I don't even know how long, 2-3 months with the ankle injury. The thing with him is like they probably were just extremely cautious, especially after they started winning a ton of games. Like they didn't need to rush him back. So I think he's probably fully healthy now is what I would imagine. So he might play still. I would probably imagine he's more on the doubtful side of things. Hopefully we get news there. There was a couple of things that just came in on the injury report. I'm not sure if he is off of it and he's playing. But yeah, I was anticipating Steph to miss. So if
Post just got downgraded. Sorry.
Who did?
Post.
I don't know if it was necessarily a downgrade because he's been listed questionable with the same thing the last couple of games.
So I got a question for you quick. Why do they have like Pod's questionable, Steph questionable on their initial injury report? But then like they do that. Like why didn't they just list Post questionable early? Like when they listed it with these guys?
I'm not sure. So wait, which injury report were? Because it might have just been like sometimes these sites. I don't know if you use like BBM or if it's the actual injury report.
I always use the Roto Grinders NBA injury report.
Yeah, I think that it's just like these sites are kind of they're anticipating him to be out. Like BBM had him doubtful. They had Kuminga doubtful. So it wasn't like an official injury report. Like this was the most official one that they ruled him out.
Gotcha. Or questionable.
Yeah, so they'll be questionable. So yeah, Post he was always going to be questionable. I think. Not sure. Like he's probably playing through it. I don't think that he's really too much at risk to miss here. But yeah, like who was in chat that just said that Jimmy Butler sneaky?
Well, he's Marquette boy. I mean, he hated going. They're not playing in Milwaukee, but yeah, they're at home. But if you want to use the Milwaukee Marquette narrative, it's right down the road.
Yeah, but he's the guy that I like the most. Like we haven't really seen these situations yet for Jimmy, so there's a lot of unknown there. But you can kind of imagine that he's going to have a ton of usage just because it's like Steph, you're taking away a higher usage guy. But also like the numbers do kind of back it up a little bit. He has a 32% assist rate with Steph off the court this season. And if you watch the Warriors games, like he's kind of running the point for them. They have like 3 point guards essentially with like Draymond and Steph and Jimmy all kind of like, really good passers, especially Draymond and Jimmy, like in comparison to guys at their position. But yeah, he's going to be the guy that I have the most interest in just because he's probably going to have a really big role and there's probably a lot of unknown here. I don't think that he's going to go overlooked because it's such a small slate. But even if this was like a 7 to 8 gamer and we had the same matchup, we had Steph out, like I would probably still try to get overweight the field to Jimmy tonight. Just because like since Kuminga came back, we've seen his shot attempts go way down. But you see that a lot of times with these new guys in these different situations, like they will defer a little bit more especially when you have like he probably knows Kuminga is part of the future for Golden State, so not trying to like step on any toes. But I think tonight he definitely is has a little chip on his shoulder. He has a lot of usage flowing his way, so he's gonna be the guy that I have the most interest in. I prefer to get away from Draymond just because he's a lot better with Steph, but I think he's only 6.2K, has a power forward eligibility, which is good to have now. But if Pods plays, his price is up there, 5.7K, kind of where he was when he was healthy. I don't know what the limitation would be for him, but I would imagine it's probably closer like the 28-30 range. And if that's the case, like we love guards against the Bucks, so I would have a lot of interest in Pods in that scenario. And then Moody, Buddy Hield, and Gary Payton are the 3 guys, the value guys I'm looking at. But I like Gary Payton the most. He's been playing really, really well lately and provides a lot of defense, and I think they'll need him tonight, especially with the matchup against Damian Lillard. Because I think Dame, if they put Moses Moody on him or Pods, like I think he kind of flames those guys. I think Gary Payton matches up the best there, and I mean he's kind of become a lot better of a fantasy scorer where he was like useless at times, but he's only 3.9K. He's a guy that I definitely want to get overweight on to the field.
He's another one of my Niang Terrence Mann boys. Give me GP3 on my team any day of the week. That man can pick you up full court, play above the rim, makes heady plays. I like Gary Payton.
That was the championship run where they just had him playing the center. Like that was really cool to see. I love seeing guys like Terrence Mann was the same thing. Like when he was cooking the Jazz, cooking Rudy Gobert. Like I agree with you. I like those types of players for sure.
Yeah.
And then the Bucks side, like there's not really a ton to talk about here. I think it's a little bit straightforward, but the one kind of big injury news, I know it's like people are probably going to laugh, but like Jericho Sims is done for a month. I don't think that it's like obviously going to change much from like people's roles, but he was playing a good amount of minutes off the bench behind Brook, and he was playing really well. Him and Dame had a really good connection. So what that does, like they're probably going to bring somebody into the rotation. It's either going to be Pat Con or Andre Jackson Jr., I would think. But there's a chance that they just tighten it up a lot because they do need to win games here coming down the stretch. So that kind of has me interested in Kuzma and Brook Lopez a lot more than usual. I wouldn't say that for Brook Lopez because I've kind of been on him a lot lately. But we might start seeing Brook, instead of being like that 33 to 34-minute range, it might be like 36, 37. And then Kuzma, too. Like, he's been losing minutes to Gary Trent Jr. I'm not sure you can really do that tonight just with no Jericho Sims. Like, he might get some of those small ball 5 minutes. They did it a little bit in Washington this year. He could definitely run that. I mean, obviously the Warriors run a lot of small ball, so it's like he's not going to be outmatched. Like, there's not a Jokic on the other side or like an Embiid. Like, he can definitely hold his own against Draymond, at least on defense. So, yeah, I think those guys are pretty interesting options tonight. Kuzma will come with ownership, but Brook Lopez is always going to be under-owned. So, not somebody you're probably comfortable locking in single entries, but in 150 max, 20 max, I would probably try to get like double the field there if you can. And then Giannis, the minutes are starting to come up for him as well. 36 minutes last game, 61 DK points against OKC, which I would say is a pretty similar matchup to tonight. The Warriors have been top 3 on both ends of the court, top 3 defense, top 3 offense, one of the best net ratings in the leagues. They've been playing really well, but like it's Giannis. It's a slate with not a ton of studs, and you probably just would be happy if he got you 60 tonight with some upside for more. It's a close spread, decently high total. So yeah, I like Giannis a good bit. Dame, I don't love the matchup, but he's just really cheap. 8.5K is a really good price tag for him, and he's shown that he can pay off. He has multiple 50-pointers, which would be really good on this slate at that price tag. So I like those 2 guys up top, and then the secondary guys: Prince, Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr. All interest in all 3 of them. I think I'm kind of leaning Gary Trent tonight, just because he's the cheapest. But all these guys have shown upside at different times at their respective price tags. I would love to hear your thoughts on if you have any lean on the value guys, because I just don't really like. It's hard to like. I remember the Kevin Porter Jr. You asked about him, and he went for 40. Like, there was no reason for me to get on him because like I need the numbers to back up a guy being a good play. He only played 17 minutes in that game.
Yeah, he played 16. He's literally just a hooper. Like, the dude he can fill it up in a heartbeat. He can stuff the other stuff. But everything you said that day was right. He just had a 36% usage, and he was 5 for 10 from the field and 5 for 7 from deep. Like, even playing that great of a game, he didn't get more like run in that game. So how I look at these Bucks secondary guys, I like the Hawks value more, I like Charlotte value more, and I like Golden State value more. So I don't love it. You'd say Gary Trent? Sure, I'm good with Gary Trent, but I prefer, again, all 3 of those there's plethora of guys in that Hawks Charlotte game in that 4K range, and the Moody's, Paytons, all that. Buddies, like I prefer them over the Bucks guys too. They just have enough real guys with Giannis, Dame, Kuz, Brook, where a good secondary game for Gary Trent's 24, which sign me up all day, but it's not guaranteed to be optimal on this slate with other guys right in that price range that can do that too. So that's how I look at the secondary Bucks people.
So it's probably Kevin Porter Jr. then, because at least he has a ceiling that can win it for you.
I think that now that you say it that way, I think that probably is right. Yeah, that's all I got in that one though. Jimmy's definitely Jimmy's probably should be like 9.2K. It feels like without Steph, because even he had an interview, like he's like, when it's my turn to score, you'll know it's my turn to score, or something like that. This feels like a game. It's his time to score, and he will have the ball in his hands a ton.
They could have used him last night. I mean, damn, what the hell were they doing?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have no clue. Denver, come on. Westy plays too hard for these dudes. Yeah, I got really nothing more than that one. Giannis is really strong. Definitely looks way better than Tatum. Ownership will come that way. Warriors side now, a lot of strong plays. Got to see with the pods and the post-injury news. But
I was just looking at sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to touch on this quickly. But so these teams have faced off earlier in February when Butler was on Golden State. Only played 31 minutes in that game, but he had 48 DraftKings points, was 1 rebound shy of the double-double, had 4 steals in that game, 6 assists. So, yeah, I was just looking to see what his history is against Milwaukee, because I don't know if he, historically cooks them. I know there's some teams he does, but I don't know if that was the case for Milwaukee.
He had his games in the playoffs, the Heat against the Bucks, where, Jimmy was a problem. There's no doubt about that. when the moments get big and you need a competitor, as much as you can bash on Jimmy is one of the first guys you want to click. I need my money back. I'm so happy you said this, Wardo. Cooked me 2 weeks ago for my $50. Brunson over that. Absolutely. You get KPJ, I get Daquan Jeffries. You just give me the thumbs up and we'll roll that 50 right back. All right. Let's keep it moving. Last game of the night. Not a great one to target by any means. Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. 3-point favorites are the Cavs. 232.5 total in this one. Mobley questionable on the Cleveland side, and no injury news on the Clippers side. And you mentioned earlier you thought Mobley does play. Let me think of what you thinking. What? Come on, Wardo. This game looks awful. I don't like playing Kawhi. I will say, if I was to play any of these guys, really, it's probably D-Mitch or Garland and just hope one of them nukes. But, like, Jimmy's right the same price as these guys. Like, I want Giannis up top. The Dyson Daniels of the world. How do you compare Trey to Mitchell, Dyson Daniels to Garland? It'd be one of those two hoping they go off for a big score. I never really like playing Kawhi much. Fully healthy team on both sides. I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, two defensive-minded teams as well, two of the better defenses in the league this season. I'm kind of surprised that the game total is what it is. I mean, Cleveland has been really good offensively. I don't think the Clippers have been nearly as good, but they did get Norm Powell back recently. He should be getting closer to full after the next game or two probably. I don't know. Like, I'm really torn on this game because the spread is close. It is a better game environment from a point total projection over the Milwaukee and Golden State one. Like, it could be one of those games that gets overlooked, especially the studs. And then, like, I wouldn't be really too surprised if at the end of the night these guys have really big scores. All these guys are capable of doing it. So I was sorry, I got some notifications popping up on the bottom that are distracting me.
It's a billion things coming on for tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, so let me get back on track here. So, yeah, what I'm kind of thinking in this game, I think if you're playing the studs, you probably want to have some correlated pieces because I don't know, like, if it makes sense much to have. I mean, for Harden, it probably does because he can get there in a big way. But like Kawhi coming with a ton of ownership, I would probably prefer him in a close game environment. So pair him with Garland or Jared Allen or Mobley or Mitchell would make a little bit of sense to me. I don't think you have to set a hard rule to do that, but something I would play around with in some builds pre-lock. But yeah, so for the Clippers side, I think Harden is my favorite. He's going to be really low owned tonight, it looks like, just because the position is decently strong. We should have enough value to get up to him. I mean, he's been playing so good right now, like prime Harden, 52 plus DK points in 7 of his last 8 games. I think the area you do want to attack Cleveland is with guards, so they'll probably put is Okoro normally starting? So he's not starting if Mobley is in. So who are they putting on him? Like, is it going to be Max Strus on James Harden to start? Like, James Harden's going to cook Strus all day. I don't think they'll put Mobley on him. Yeah, because unless they just there's no guarantee.
Garland at him.
Yeah, they won't. There's no way they'll do that. There's also no guarantee.
Start Dean Wade. Do they start Dean Wade?
That's what I was going to say because there's no. They have talked about Kenny Atkins has talked about the rotation being a little bit different. They're not going to continue with the same starting 5 every single night. Like if there are matchup based things to switch around, they'll do it. So tonight could be a spot where they do start Dean Wade or Isaac Okoro just to get him either one of those guys on James Harden. But if it's the same starting lineup, like I think Harden's going to cook Max Strus. Zubac is really, really expensive now. He was trending for about 34 minutes last game. First game with Ben Simmons back, still put up a huge game. Was a great matchup against Charlotte. But like I said, like it's a little bit tougher when Simmons is back for him to get those 38-minute games. I think it's going to be closer to like 34. And he's almost, 8.5K is like really expensive for Zubac. He's been paying it off in a pretty big way a couple times, but I don't think this is a spot for him against a huge front court like Cleveland. Kawhi playing 34 minutes a game post All-Star break. But yeah, like you said, I think this is kind of it's a really expensive price tag for him. 44 from him is probably a pretty good score on this small of a slate.
Not when Jimmy gets you 58.
That's true. Yeah, like I prefer Jimmy over him. Same positional eligibility, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, same. So yeah, give me Jimmy all day over Kawhi is what I'm thinking. And then probably not look into these value guys for any sort of upside. If there were to be one, I don't know, I guess Derrick Jones Jr., but I don't really like those guys in particular. And then the cap side is, these prices are insane. 8.8K for Donovan Mitchell is expensive, and it's a really tough matchup for the guards. I would probably lean the front court guys for Cleveland if I had to choose. Preferably Jared Allen. 7K is a lot, but his minutes might come up a little bit in the matchup against Zubac. Both teams have been elite with the rim protection, but it's just like you're just playing the minutes game here. So if he's matching those minutes with Zubac and he gets a 34 tonight, then Allen should look like a pretty decent option. And then Ty Jerome, I guess I'll keep the door open or the lights on for him a little bit and play him in a handful of lineups, probably like 5%. But yeah, pretty gross game. I mean, the game total is good, but it's just the pricing. It makes it tough.
100%. And even like you mentioned, that game total, it's only 6 points more than the Bucks Warriors with the same spread. And like for all the injury news, like not all the injury news, mainly Steph though, but relative against two healthy teams, like give me the injury situation over the 6 point difference in total. Really all of them, 232.5, 232.5, 226.5, and it's the net Celtics very low at 212.5, which wasn't good. I'm not seeing this Kuzma news.
What am I missing?
On Underdog. Jim said he's out.
What?
But I haven't seen Underdog tweet. Yeah, Gang Green said the same thing. I haven't seen any tweet or anything. Kuminga, someone said he wasn't on the injury report.
I don't think that's true. I don't think Kuzma's out.
All right. Any final thoughts to wrap it up? I mean, I think it's pretty clear. This first game's great. This third game's great. 2 and 4 don't look too good to me. Ownership will reflect all that. Again, all of our content, projections, ownership will be updated. Projections right here, ownership right here. Stone, core report, Rio, BJ Ham, cash report for myself, Slate plan, Rio has up like always. If you remember, definitely make sure to check that out. Yeah, nothing on Underdog I see right now.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Rio?
No, I would just say thank you everybody for tuning in. I know we're getting to the end of the season. Viewership is still pretty solid right now for a Tuesday 4-game slate. So appreciate everybody tuning in at this point of the season. MLB right around the corner, and we'll get all of the scheduling stuff out pretty soon. Had the meeting today, so it's exciting time. Like you said, SaberSim, absolute best for baseball, in my opinion. I think that's probably the consensus around the industry, but yeah, helped me win, two live final seats last year, multiple GPP wins, really good for single entry stuff. So a lot of exciting things moving forward.
Absolutely. And you did it was a question. No,
you forgot the question mark. It's kind of
you had a scrambling, Jim. You liked Diabate. You even liked him more if he did start at the 4 next to Mark Williams, correct? Off the bench, not as much interest.
Off the bench, no, because then it's the 3-headed center rotation. If he's starting, which I've seen in multiple projections have him starting, then yeah, he's interesting because he's only 3.2K. Like you don't need much to get a usable fantasy score from him.
Thanks, Sean. You rock as well. Appreciate that. That's all we got. Again, MLB right on the horizon, NBA in full force, PGA locks in 2 days, MMA, of course, NASCAR, NHL, so many sports going on. Again, SaberSim does offer every single one of them, and stuff like college basketball. It's March Madness, baby. You can't wait. College always on my screen over here. We have a portion in Discord. My man Smarty always in there, Hammock in there as well if you want to dabble. And there is college basketball right here. Let's look it up right here. College basketball. Click NBA. I don't know what slates. Oh, they just have the one for Thursday. Wait, what? Let me see this. College basketball. See if we can build some lineups. Yeah, let's see how it looks. Yeah, so nothing's up right now, but again, SaberSim does have projections for college basketball. You can see big boy slates. Obviously, very excited for that. Check out Smarty stuff. He drops some of his exposures, his favorite plays. Pickens as well, another one in there that does great college basketball analysis. So another reason to be in the Discord, even though we don't offer it. That tennis, League of Legends, soccer members in there that do play it are knowledgeable. Bet Colorado State, I already did Gang Green. I beat you to that. been heavy in the betting streets there. But all right, that's enough for us. Rio, great job as always. Appreciate every single one hanging out. Hit that like, hit the subscribe on the way out. Helped us out a ton. ShipItNation.com if you do want to join. Definitely get in the Discord. For Rio, I'm Titletown. Good luck tonight. Be safe. Peace.